Hi there, rail fanners. Turbo Concept here, and we're here at the Rosekill Small Island Railway. So we have just an update for 1.0 released. We got Jungle, Harbor, and one racetrack all over here. So if I'm going to be railing some things, and we're not doing the freight stuff, and because of this, that must be try to lay this game, so we can't do that. So instead, we got a big, huge ship right over there in the middle of the sea, and even this is not the sea, it was the cargo one, and there must be the docks. And the outside of this mainly factory was even it was an open world, and even it was a small island as well. So we're doing some passenger work, so up here in the city, and as well this is gonna be a much more touring. So I really got a egg phone, and which is I really got that tool model, and even I cannot buy more tools, and even it costs Robux. And we got some kind of pretty a diesel and the electric steam, and even though that must be the Dutch railways, even this train was look like Dutch, and there must be the VIA rail for Canadian. And another one was the Grand Theft Auto San Andreas train, which must be is a better economy. There must another one. It must the CWWR. It must be the currency of the curator RP, and I really hated to drive it, and I know what it is, and it must be an American reference, and there must be the old kind of steam engine, the RBLXRR, and another teleportation of this game, because I cannot do this before I'm going to get an incident. There was one train, which even it looks like for America, and there it is, and another train must be in the village, and there was the narrow gauge train, and where's the Shay? And into the tunnel we go, and I'm not trying to do anyways, trying to reverse this train, and I already entered the tunnel, and we went to the canyon as well, and another train must be the coal one, so it will be verily my punishment as well. And another train was even right there, the C&W. And there must be another freight cars, and even some box cars as well, even some milk car, and I really know what it is. And outside of the other side of this island, it's even nowhere that it even is. Since we already passed the tunnel, so we got this enormous ocean over there, so this ocean looks kind of unrealistic like Barbie movies, and even though this is not able to get away, and even after I'm going to be passing through this red desert, and even it's just a canyon for America, and I hear loud steam noises coming away from this, and we're moving on to the Egyptian desert. There's one pyramid right in front of us, and there's an oil changer and pick up some oil. And there's some even abandoned rails, and I heard steam engines coming from that. And there is one old diesel locomotive, another old diesel locomotive with some tank engines. I mean, there were some tank cars, by the way, and even though in over the village, back in the village spot, and that even some kind of rail cars, even it's from the cargo, and even are really nothing to do anyways. And let's move on to the darkness on this green jungle. We got the British Railways, and I'm not going to get in closer to the train, and sometimes there is one Shaman, and there's one diesel engine, and as well, and even though it was absolutely India Railways, I can't even drive that, and it won't be terrible for something, and moving on to this city, and even after the village kind for whatsoever, later I'm back at the city, and looks like we got some subway work, and looks like I'm not going to be trying to go there. I'm going for a turn right to go left, and we have a feature of a subway train, which is exactly electric, and everything should be running fine, and nothing to always do away. So I'm not going to move all these trains at once, so I'm going to use one train at a time to work things harder. Now let's start with the old-fashioned steam engine. So I'm going to be finding address. So the train it should be number 11. So I need to reverse and change the mode. And looks like we're going for a couple for some passengers. And looks like pretty much it was not even working as well. Even like act like a BNR and always moving forward. And I'm not going to be speeding as much, and I need to get even slow down, and looks like those things are even left. So I'm going to be turn off the address, and let's see what it's moving towards on. Now thankfully I responded this moment while I'm going to be coupled up with these VIA coaches, so let's move on, and we're not trying to speed anyway. So even though we're going to use this as another one, there's a steam engine right in the block, so we're going to be using as the train number 329, which is the CWWR. I'm not using the Grita AP, but the BNR as well, and this train looks like an American Freedom, so I'm just going to be coupled up with these vehicles, and I mean, it's just coaches by itself, so even the coaches looks like Grita AP or even the BNR as well, so let's push on and move on to the station. And I'm going to be hitting this throttle to 40%. There's another one as well, and the train will be arriving at the station, so I'm going to be complete stop at this moment. So I have to really stop this train, and this train will really arrive right now, and I really know what it is. And there must be the ship right over there, and I'm turning off on my address and full stop on this moment. And another diesel engine, which is going to find address for the 329 number train. And unfortunately, we're going to be arriving at this station, and the train should be stopping right here. And even it arrived on time, and we're not able to waste some time, and we're not using this this freight engine. Exactly was the GTA 5, or it was the Grand Theft Auto San Andreas. So this must be the train 1000. And unfortunately, if I'm going to be moving this train won't allow to move as well. So I'm leaving this train and type here to 0. It was requested. Well, I just reset the server, so let's use that kind of power steam locomotive, so maybe later for just now. And even we're going to opt for the red desert, and before that we're not going to be doing a part 2, so let's do a freight and all kinds of punishment. So we're not doing a coal thingy, and it's more a bit of a big punishment for something when someone goes for the lumber work. So I'm using the train number 330, and looks like we're going to be a little bit reverse and try not to couple too fast, as I need to go to respond at this moment. So reverse at highly intense way, and so you have to reverse hard. And let's get on to moving. So I'm not going to get faster anymore, but sometimes I need to stay slow for just in order to do safety stuff. And we got this train number thingy, so the train will be number 47279. And we're not going to do at once, and so the train will be stopped by right over here. And oops, there's much been a waste of time. There's one right there, so I'm going to be turning off address, so this train needs to keep on moving, so the train throttle will be at 50%. Now back to train number 330, as the train will be stopped right here, and the lumber work is over, so I'm not doing the kinds of different works or something, so let's move on to pretty on the high speeds, and not doing like the Egyptian one. So let's pretty move on out through the jungle in small island railways. So we're not doing freight work, so instead of that, and even though we're going to do a high-speed rail, so even it's going to be a part 2, and which means it's the final part for this time. Before part 2, it was required to ride on a ship. So let's choose the train number 1425, and which is the Dutch Railways as well. And even we're going to move itself forward, and looks like expect I almost left out the coaches, even it was the passenger cars as well, so move forward. Our first stop goes to Egypt by this way, so even in American desert or mixed with some and the African size, and it must be the North African and some kind. There was a pyramid right in front of it, and even though let's get ourselves a moving on, and even we try to do this, and looks like we're not doing a freight work as well, even during a part 2 session, so I'm required for part 2 of this, so the train needs to depart after a few minutes of time. Now it's our journey back to the city after we pass for this pyramid. So looks like we are entering to the Red Canyon as well. And looks like this train goes on for the tour for tonight, and we're not hitting to 100% throttle. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4 coaches, and instead of this 3 coaches, and there is 1 observation right in the rear. And I'm not going to do coal work as well, so I'm not going to teleport to the next game. So I even going into this tunnel, so actually it will lead to this American field. So it will be much more fun to have our find a ways for this old village. And the train is heading towards our old village, and I'm not going to do horn stuff. And looks like we arrived at this only in time for village, and increasing speed up to 35%. And down here was actually there, and I'm pretty sure I'm going to be slow at this moment, so I just eventually reset the server, and looks like the train needs for return. And I'm really going to be heading out, and you really think this train got a little bit stuck. And another one as well is going for insanely return in that station, so I have to stop this right there. And actually the train is going to be arrived here, so I need to full throttle at this moment, so I can't. And another one most likely to get right here, and this train is going to be right on time and right here on this island. And looks like we are right at time to finally made it to our destination. So the old steam locomotive just passed by, and where should I going to be stopped here? So right here, so I'm going to turn down the throttle and right hit to 0. And what about that old locomotive? Yep, this train has stopped right on time, and looks like I'm about to end this video. So if you enjoyed this game, so I actually made a good review at this moment, so and make sure this game was in description below, so I can hear this ship engine trying to steam at me. And by the way, I'm going to be ending at this video right now. So even though, thank you for watching and for all your support, which will be Turbo Concept will be signing off, and I'm going to be turning off that controller. So I'm going to put my hand down of my controller, and I'm going to be see you guys in the next video, and I'm going to be talking to you all later.